Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Saturday night's training call. Hope everyone is staying nice and cool over here in the Central Valley. We're in the triple digits. It's really, really warm right now. So I don't know if everybody had an opportunity to watch last week's training, or the last Saturday. It was the third Saturday of last month that I did it. And so this is a continuation of that training. So one of the things before I pull up my PowerPoints, I just, I don't know if anybody's experienced this, but maybe it's called fight or flight. So for example, I don't know if you've ever gotten a name of somebody where you asked them, hey, are you interested in making extra money? And they said, sure, yeah. And then they give you the wrong number. Or maybe you call them and then they never return the calls. Or even when you close them and they're interested in the business, oh yeah, I'm going to start on Friday. And then you try to call them and then they go MIA. Anybody experience that at all? Okay, that's called fight or flight. And depending on the personality types, I'm the type of personality type that I'm kind of like sometimes too nice. Like I don't want to be maybe mean sometimes. So maybe I might be like, oh, sure, yeah, I'm interested. Yeah, let's do, later, and then never return their call. Other people might be straight up bold and just get to the point, or I'm not interested or whatever, right? That's a different type of personality. Okay, so understand that we as salespeople, because that's what we're selling, a dream is what we're doing. We're selling a dream of what it is that they want, okay? So understand that may be occurring, and that could be why, okay? So we have to become a problem finder rather than a product pusher, okay? That is so important that we do that. And then don't sell to needs. Our goal is not to sell to needs, but most important, here's the problem, because most people don't even know what they need. Think about life insurance. How many people need life insurance? Probably everybody. I could tell you a personal experience that just happened with my girlfriend recently. Her dad, unfortunately, just unexpectedly passed away, and he had no money set aside. So they had to do a GoFundMe to raise money to bury their father. Okay, so she's stressing out. She's fighting with her sister because of money issues, trying to get over to, Texas and all this other stuff. And so can we agree everybody needs life insurance? But how many people actually have it? So if we try to sell to need, obviously everybody should have it. It's the same thing with this business. So understand, a lot of people want money. They need my extra money. They want extra time. That's the need. But if we sell on that, keep in mind, they should have life insurance. So we have to understand that. So they might not even know what their problem is. Okay, and they might not even know how bad their problem is. So listening to what people mean, not just what they say. Okay, that's super important. So again, you're not selling the thing, you're selling the results. Okay, so the vision of what it is that they want. What is you know what it reminds me of international events. Think about that. ASEAN is so great at that, because what do they do when you go to international? What happens to the new person? They see the vision. They see the bigger picture. Their imagination expands. It goes beyond what they could even have possibly thought of before. So all of a sudden, that's where we saw the bigger picture of what this business was. And that's why it's so important to get to events. But that's kind of a side note. Okay, so if I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you, I will tell you real quick that I've been reading this book. It's off of this, The New Model of Selling. Okay, so this is a great book. Because here's the thing, even Eric Worre says, go pro, become a professional. Why are we not taking this business and becoming? So I want to become a professional of selling. And that's what we are. We're selling a vision. We're selling a dream. We're finding out we're being a problem solver, figuring out their problem first, finding out their why, right? What is their true why? And then using that to basically let them see this is what ASEAN's going to do for them. So I'm going to pull up I'm going to go ahead and share my screen right now. And then I'm going to be using, I know if you guys watched, if you didn't watch last week's or the third Saturday of last month, this is going to be, I'm going to go through that here. I actually used some of the same video here. So let me do this. Let me make my screen bigger here. Okay, so from this book, he talks about its NEPQ questions. So it's called Neuro Emotional Persuasion Questions. So essentially what it is, this guy went to school for psychology. So he's going through the questions and psychologically how we think, okay? So the focus is on gaining the trust of your buyer, your prospect, and solidifying your authority. So he says ABDs of selling, always be disarming. That's your goal as the person when you're talking to them, is to bring down their guard, right? So they can open up and they can share. So here's what the format kind of looks like. And then I'm going to go through scenario by scenario so you have a better idea of what it is. So I know it's kind of small. You maybe take a screenshot of it and then go ahead and make it larger. But the first phase is connecting stage. So you're connecting questions. It's going to be putting the focus off of you. It's all about them. Connect with zero resistance, disarm your prospect, and ignite curiosity that pulls them in, right? The second is engagement stage. Situation questions helps you and the prospect find out their current situation. Okay, grasp the bigger picture and their current situation, laying the foundation that gets them to open up, right? So that's what we want them to do. Okay, next is problem awareness questions. Opens up the emotional door to finding out what their problems are, why they have those problems and how it's affecting them. Okay, neuro-emotional questions that reveal their root pain and probe deeper into their emotional state. Okay, next is solution awareness questions. It helps them see what their future looks like once their problems are solved, right? Master the art of talking less and listening more, right? Who always says that, right? With advanced tonality that draws out their drivers, okay? Next is consequence questions. Helps your prospect question their way of thinking and explore consequences if they do absolutely nothing. So powerfully position yourself as an expert in such a way that prospects thank you and want to pay you, okay? Next is qualifying questions, confirms how important it is for them to make a change and take action. Lead prospects to persuade themselves and see buying your solution as their own idea, okay? And third is transition stage, which the transition questions is transitioning to your solution, okay? To presenting your solution. Transition to your presentation in a way that's natural and smooth as butter. And then fourth, presentation stage, feedback, agreement, demonstrates how the specific advantages and benefits of your solution will solve their problem. Present perfectly in alignment with their ideal criteria. Now you made it about their why, their problem once you dove into it, right? And then 5, commitment stage, okay, helps them commit and take the next steps towards purchasing your solution. Lead prospects to close themselves. No more objections either. You'll simply diffuse concerns, okay? So I'm gonna go through an example. If you saw my video that I kind of made a funny, it's like I made, myself being the actual seller or whatever of a security door, because that was a real life scenario. And I like I said in the previous video, I said, what could this company have done differently for me that would have opened me up and made me say, yes, I want to make an appointment, or yes, I want to buy, okay? And so that's what I did. And I'm going to go through that right now through the first one. Let's go through the connection questions. Here's some examples of connecting questions. Have you found what you're wanting, or are you still looking for whatever it is, right? I was just curious, what was it about whatever it was that attracted your attention? Okay, so anything else that attracted your attention? Something like that. So let me show you an example based on that last Saturday that I did the training. So here's what it is played out so you understand. Here's that connecting question in action.
Hello, Rose. Yes. Hi, this is Ivan, and I was calling from Securities R Us, and you were interested in a security door, and I wanted to see if now is a better time for you.
No, not right now. I have too much going on. Now it's just not a good time.
Okay, not a problem. I don't see here in the notes, but I was just wondering what got you interested with the security door to begin with.
Honestly, I just see me being able to relax, not stress as much about it, and be able to use the whole house fan a lot more so our AC doesn't kick on
Okay,
so soon.
so did you hear there that? I asked that question, the connecting question. Had they asked that, I'm telling you, I would have gone further. So here's another scenario based on that conversation, situation question. Let's see how that plays out. So here's some scenarios. What are you doing now? Like, so for example, if somebody's looking to make extra money, well, what are you doing now for work? You know, how are you making ends meet now? What are you using now? How long have you been doing it? What got you involved with whatever it is, right? Those are some scenarios of situation questions. So let's see that in action.
What are you guys doing now to allow you to cool your house down?
Right now, we do turn on our house fan and open the windows and the back slide door, but we don't open our front door. When we do open the back slide door, I don't like it open too early in the morning because the screen door isn't very
Okay,
secure.
so here's the next one. Remember, problem awareness question. So here's some scenarios or of examples of problem awareness questions you can ask. Do you like what you're, using? Do you like whatever it is you have now? Why do you like or don't like? Okay, is there anything else that you like or don't like about your job? Okay, why do you like or don't like whatever it is they say? Okay, so let's see it in action.
I understand. Was there any other reason you were looking at security doors?
Well, I guess it would also allow us to leave our house fan on earlier in the morning to cool it down so our AC didn't kick on.
Okay,
sooner.
so next, the two truths question. Okay, here's some scenarios of two truths questions. So sometimes it's like it's surface level. That's one thing we've learned in Tahoe, that sometimes people will stay surface level, and sometimes you have to stay up high, and then before they start getting more, letting more into getting deeper with you. So it sounds like things are going fairly well for you. Is there anything you would say, like somebody says, oh, I love my job. I love my job. I've heard people say that. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, if you could change anything, what would you change about it? Okay, why would you change that? Why is that important to you now, though? Has that had impact on you? In what way? And I will say, I'm saying this fast, but I will tell you through this book, it talks a lot about tonality, saying things slower. And I know I talk fast sometimes, and I'm learning to slow down when I talk to prospects, especially. In fact, it was a reality check. I had one lady that I was explaining the gas, and I was saying it so fast to her. She said, when people talk fast like that, it makes me suspicious. And so it just was like, aha, like, I mean, I know people tell me slow down. When she said that, it was a reality check for me to be like, I need to slow down when I talk, especially to prospects. So he does talk a lot about slowing down, sometimes pausing when you say things, because what it does, a pause sometimes actually gets them to think, okay? So more scenarios would be, has that had an impact on you? What way? How would you feel being able to do that? What has stopped you from getting what you're looking for? Okay, so let's see that in scenario right here in that conversation again, continued on.
Has that had an impact on you?
Yeah, I guess so. I'm really not able to completely relax when I know it's open with the house fan on so early in the
Okay,
morning.
next is solution awareness questions. Here's some scenarios or examples of solution awareness questions. So before we talk today, were you out there looking for ways to solve the problem that you have right now? What have you done about changing this, if anything? You solving this problem, how would it be different than it is now for you? What would it do for you personally, though? How do you see the benefits of you actually solving the problem? What's prevented you in the past from changing your situation? Okay, so let's see that in action.
So Rose, how do you see the benefits of you actually solving this problem?
Honestly, I just see me being able to relax, not stress as much about it, and be able to use the whole house fan a lot more so our AC doesn't kick on.
Okay, how about consequence questions? Well, let's get some examples of what consequence questions look like. So what if you don't do anything about this problem and your situation gets even worse? Have you thought about what would happen if you don't do anything about this? Have you considered the possible ramifications if you don't do anything about this? What are you going to do if nothing changes? If you keep using the same product, service, so that you're in the same situation that you are 5, 10, 15 years from now. And I will tell you that is what got me to move forward in the business, because my girlfriend's sister said, Rose, well, let me ask you this. What if you don't do anything today? What will 1 year, 2 year, 5 year, what's going to be different for you? And that's what got me to move, honestly. That's what made me say, well, I'm still gonna be working my 2 jobs. So that's essentially was very powerful. So let's watch that in action.
Now, what if you don't do anything about these problems and your solution gets worse, Rose?
I really haven't even thought about it, but it certainly wouldn't be a good thing if it did
Okay,
get worse.
qualifying questions. Let's look at some examples of qualifying questions. How important is it for you to change your situation and start whatever it is that they were saying, right? Or how important is it for you to solve this problem? Why is that important to you now, though? Does this feel like it might be what you're looking for? Why, though? And how do you see this being beneficial to you and your company? So those are just some scenarios, and let's watch that in action too.
How important would you say it is for you to solve the problem of being able to use your whole house fan so you can save on your energy bill, but more importantly, help you feel safe and secure?
Yeah, I guess it's pretty important, and that would be really nice to be able to
Okay,
do
so
that.
now the transition. This is where you're going to start transitioning over. Here's some scenarios or what you can say based on what you told me. And this is, you're going to collect all the stuff that you've collected, right? Which was for me, if they had asked me, I would say that all the things that I had said throughout that example of them asking me, why were you looking in the first place? What are you doing now? What would this do for you? You know, all these things. Why do you want it really? You know? So because you know how you said, you repeat back the logical problem they told you, right? And then because of that, it's making you feel, again, you're going to repeat back what they told you it's doing to them emotionally, right? Like me not feeling secure, right? That, I mean, I could tell you times me and my husband argued about that because he wants to leave all the windows open and all that stuff. And it makes me paranoid with the door, the slide door, and it's easy for people to come through. So, you know, this is emotional for me. Again, when you understand how to ask these questions, slow down and really listen, right? Listen to them, you can get this information from them. So here's an example.
Well, you know how you mentioned you would like to feel safe leaving your door open and use your house fan more so you can save on your utility bill? With our security doors being made with the best metals, ensuring durability and keeping anyone from trying to get in, as well as allowing for air to come through easily, while also giving you the ability to still see people on the outside without them being able to see you on the inside. Do you feel this would
Okay.
provide you with what you're looking for,
Yeah.
Rose?
Oh, anyway, so yeah, so the next one, I cut it off a little soon. The final one is the committing questions, okay? And here's some scenarios of the committing. Do you feel like this could be the answer for you? Why do you feel it is though? Okay, so now again, the idea is to let them convince themselves, right? Because if you convince them, then really it's your idea. It's not their idea. They need to tell themselves why they need something, right? So do you feel like this is something that you can or have or do that will get you where you're wanting to go? Why do you feel like it is though? Right? Like even here's a perfect example when somebody says, yeah, you know, I want to do the business, but I don't have the money. Let's just say they say, well, I don't have the money. Okay, well, that's okay. Let me ask you this, but why would you though? Why would you want to do this though? So what you want to do, again, what you're getting them to do is tell themselves more reasons why they want to do this business. You want them to convince themselves, right? That's the goal. So while it looks like we possibly covered what you're looking for, really the next step is and then you tell them the next steps. Would that be appropriate, or would you like to proceed from here? Okay, so let's watch that in action.
Great. The next step is to schedule a technician to come out to show you a sample of the solid and durable metal we use on our security doors and view our catalog of the possible door that might work for you. Would that be appropriate?
Yeah, sure. I think we can plan that. If I don't have to commit to buying, I
Okay.
think we can do
So
that.
so keep in mind, an average salespeople find problems out, okay? Greater salespeople find the root cause of the problem. The greatest of salespeople learn how those problems are affecting them personally. So why not learn to become the greatest at what we do, right? That is the objective. I know that for me, like I said, I take it, this is a business and I want to treat it like a business and I want to learn the skill set so I can be the best that I can. But just like anything, I don't care how many trainings that we go to, whether in Tahoe or we go to the internationals or we do meet in person, it doesn't matter how many you do. If you don't practice, and that's the key, because we might get like 12 hours in Tahoe, but here's the thing, we have cheat sheets, we have all these layering, we have books and all this stuff. But here's the thing, if I don't take time to practice and practice and practice, just like we practice the 1 through 10 when we were presenting, then you're never going to get good at these skill sets. And so that's what we're learning to do here locally. You know, with our team, we're learning how to have conversations, to dig deeper, to ask the questions, and let them sell themselves, essentially, is what you want to do, and know the things that are going to motivate them. So that's my call for tonight, Mr. Thomas. That's it. I know it's not the full half an hour, but I wanted to share that with this was great information for me. Like I said, take this business serious, take it to the next level, learn how to become a professional in our industry, especially in selling. So